I'll go to Mr. Pfluger from Texas for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Clark, let's talk about just what you see the demand increase being over the next, just call it 10 years. I think this hearing is interesting because we're talking about AI data centers, but that's one aspect of the demand increase we're going to see, and probably a very large aspect of it. But just in general, how much electricity percentage-wise should we expect to see demand increase in the next 10 years?
Congressman and Mr. Chairman, the figures vary depending on what resource you're looking at, but it would appear that we are moving towards a system that over the last few decades might have been a 0.5% growth system a year, something like that, relatively stagnant, to, you see anything from 2 to 3% or more growth annually. That starts to add up very, very quickly. In your home state of Texas, it's been a leader in demand growth, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down. An important part of it looks to be these data campuses, but there are other drivers as well.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons that we have a lot of concerns is because we just don't see a really realistic plan to meet that demand increase. In fact, the power providers have been here and they have testified in front of Congress, and they said the greatest threat to our grid is the lack of sources to power that grid, because it seems that, especially this administration, has put all their eggs in one basket, which might make us feel good about it, but it doesn't actually turn the power on, and might not keep up. Mr. Dion, I'd like to ask you, talk us through just the electrons and the reliability factor. How reliable are some of the things that are being pushed by the administration, and compare that with other sources that you prefer?
So, Congressman, thank you very much. I appreciate the question. I think I've mentioned before the hallmarks and the tenets that we live by are the ones that for 100 years are the ones that have to drive us, right? Reliability and affordability, reliability and affordability. We've talked, I haven't, but a lot of other people have sat at this table, and a lot of other people have sat there, and we've talked a lot about the diversity of supply and all of the above, and diversity of supply and all of the above. And that was during a flat load period. We have to get really serious about this. Very, very, very serious about it. And at the end of the day, if it is not commercially viable, if it doesn't work, and if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and if it's not affordable, then it won't happen. Just a quick example. We are all for energy efficiency. We are all for flexible demand. We like flat loads. That is actually something we talk about a lot. It benefits all customers. But when we call upon that flexible load, it has to respond. It cannot be voluntary. It cannot be wishy-washy. It has to respond. Otherwise, we can't count on it, and we have to have something behind that firm to make it reliable.
Reliability and affordability. Dr. Lott, I asked this question to Mr. Kerry probably 2 years ago, and I said, are renewables baseload capable? So 2 years later, I'll come back to you. Are renewables baseload capable?
Renewables are not 24/7, 365 capable in an economic way. Technically, as an engineer, I can design you a system, then we have to pay for it. Right. So what we find is that you want a mix of renewables because they are cheap when they're there. You want to complement them with storage, and you want to complement them with firm dispatchable power that can be there 24/7, 365, and design the market so that everyone can get paid effectively to keep their systems well maintained and online.
Do you believe that government should be designing that system?
I think I'm going to actually look to the gentleman to the left of me.
I'm just your opinion. How far should government interject itself in designing that system so that we keep up with the dispatchability?
Yeah. So what I was going to say is the engineers, the people running the system, they know where the bogeys are. They should be involved in designing it. When it comes to government, there's a strong role for bringing the people together that need to talk and need to plan together. That's the effective role.
I love that answer. I want to leave it to the engineers to design a system that works. And that's really, I think, what this hearing is about, is let's leave it to the private industry to figure out what works, what's affordable, what's reliable, what helps us geopolitically, and let's keep government out of it to the extent that they are completely squandering the resources that we have here in this country, and it's hurting Americans. It's hurting our position economically and worldwide. So I'm sorry I didn't get to our last witness, but Mr. Chairman, thanks for a great hearing. I yield back.